Hey guys, welcome to Wrestling Daze and welcome to today's unseen video. This is where we round up all the big talking points from social media. Shout out to Shay and everyone that tagged me in this big news coming through about 50 odd minutes ago from WrestleVotes. The news being that Smackdown is going to go to 3 hours beginning January 2nd now. This is probably not a big surprise because SmackDown was 3 hours long earlier this year. I think it stopped being 3 hours just after WrestleMania around May, June time. And I think this is going to be exactly the same. I don't think this is going to go 3 hours and just stay 3 hours. I think it's going to be 3 hours throughout WrestleMania season, going into the early summer. And then, boom, they'll go back to being a 2 hour show again. And it makes sense, to be honest, because WrestleMania season is the most exciting time of the year. WrestleMania is the biggest show of the year. And I think we can all agree that a 3 hour SmackDown is great news as long as you book it well. As long as you've got interesting characters, interesting stories. You kind of got cliffhangers that make us want to tune in again the next week. I think a lot of people have been struggling with WWE in 2025, just not finding it as compelling as it has been in 2023, 2024. And so the idea of the shows now getting longer, I've seen quite a bit of backlash online. So I'm not down on it. I mean, I am living in hope that next year is going to be better than this year, and that WrestleMania next year is going to be better than this year's WrestleMania, and that the build is going to be better, and that lessons have been learned, right? I think we can all agree that it's acceptable to have a bad day, have a bad WrestleMania once in a while. Hopefully 2025 was just that, and that next year we get back to something decent. So yeah, for me, I'm going to look at this as a positive. But many out there are kind of rolling their eyes, saying this isn't what we need right now. So there we go. Big news coming through. SmackDown going to 3 hours from January 2nd. Then we've got NXT ratings. They've come in at 554,000 for this week's NXT. It's about in line with what would be expected now, to be honest. We know that new ratings system, the way they work out the ratings has changed a couple of months ago. We've seen all the wrestling ratings drop as a result. This obviously does not look like a great number, but it's probably average now for NXT, to be honest. We've got some news about The Undertaker. He's going to take his show on the road. So he is going to be on December 12th. He is going to, tickets on sale, he's going to Washington, which obviously makes sense, because the next night is going to be John Cena's final match. So it looks like The Undertaker is going to be there, going to be in attendance for John Cena's final match. He's going to be doing the 6 Feet Under podcast just the night before. So Silverback, thank you. Okay, this is kind of pretty interesting news. So NXT attacked TNA last night at Full Sail. Lexis King, Charlie Dempsey, Robert Stone, Tyson and Tyreek, Stax, Brooks Jensen invaded TNA and stood tall to close out Impact. Now, I'm not a big fan of this personally because we did a whole invasion story not that long ago, kind of led to a showdown, NXT showdown, and we sort of did a whole show about that, and seemingly that was it done. But now we seem to be revisiting this kind of invasion angle. And so all these talents have invaded. But this one seems to be a little bit more interesting because I don't know that they are representing NXT. I think they're representing themselves, because here's Lexis King. He said people all over the world will look back on this night as the very moment that the pro wrestling landscape changed forever. TNA, WWE, NXT, AAA, they're nothing more than just acronyms used to control us. We are tired of being overlooked. We're tired of waiting for opportunities to be handed to us like everyone else. We will show up anywhere, any brand, any time that we want. Our influence will decide the trajectory of this business for many years to come. It feels like that wasn't so much an NXT invasion. It feels like a rogue group from NXT of disgruntled wrestlers. It feels like they invaded. Again, look at the names. Lexis King, Charlie Dempsey, Robert Stone, Tyson and Tyreek, Stax, Brooks Jensen. You know, these are people that are not getting championship opportunities. These are people that are not being used in that main event level. These are people that you could understand being kind of aggrieved and feeling like they're being overlooked. This could actually end up being quite an interesting story that has now begun on last night's TNA. And repercussions of that absolutely could be felt on NXT and in WWE. So I don't think it's going to use the main roster or anything at this stage, of course, but it could involve AAA, TNA, NXT. Here's Ava. Ava said, I had nothing to do with this. So Ava has distanced herself from this. She said that she had nothing to do with it. So very much feels to me like that is a rogue group that has kind of made their presence felt. So I know there's another tape in tonight, another show in tonight. I think it's called Turning Point for TNA. And we'll have to see if there is any more developments there. Okay, let's go into some other news. So, Silverback, thank you. Here's John Cena. Cena says, over 23 years, you've allowed me to have 544 matches on Raw. Jeez. He's had 544 matches on Raw. There's only 52 weeks in a year. That's amazing. That's wrestling every week for over 10 years on Raw. It's the most in WWE history. My favorite match is my next one, which it will be our last one. So don't miss the last chance as we grace the garden and we say farewell to Raw on Monday. Wow. The guy that has had more Raw matches than anyone else says goodbye to Raw on Monday. It's crazy, isn't it? We're at that crazy stage now, that crazy part of the year. Right, Ryder, thank you. So apparently this Braun Strowman show is proving to be a great success, which is brilliant. So it did 533,000 viewers, which was more than Dynamite, more than NXT. I personally wouldn't really compare it to those shows because it's just not a wrestling show. So it doesn't really feel fair to compare it to wrestling. I think food has got universal appeal. These kind of man versus food type shows, eat as much as you can, are massively popular because everyone has to eat. Everyone's got some sort of interest in food, but the same cannot be said for wrestling. Not everyone has got an interest in wrestling, so I just wouldn't even waste my time comparing this to wrestling, to be honest. I certainly don't think people are tuning in because it's Braun, but his size probably helps, right? But it's not like all of a sudden he's become this crazy ratings draw. I think it's more the concept of the show, and it seems like, you know, it's going really well. Long may that continue. I haven't had a chance to watch it myself, but it's called Everything on the Menu, and he basically goes in and he orders everything on the menu. And so, you know, not only do you get to see everything that restaurant sells, but you see him attempting to try and eat it all as well. So, yeah, interesting. I'm pleased it's a success for him, but I don't know that I would be kind of comparing it to Dynamite and NXT and all those kinds of things. It's a very, very different show, isn't it? Very different. And the only wrestling connection is the fact that the host used to be a wrestler. Right, next, Nia Jax says females joining the Bloodline has been spoken about. She said it would only be right for a female to join the Bloodline because our family runs deep, right? There has been talks, but it's always what works best for the story. I don't think it's been ruled out, like it'll never happen, but the boys have been creating such a cool niche, and I like doing what I do in the women's division. hopefully one day, you never know, the MFTs have got a cool thing going on. I love those guys. And I would not mind joining in with a little mixed tag sort of action. So it's never a no. It's definitely been talked about. But you know how it is. It always has to be the right timing. So there we go. That's from the Happy Hour podcast. And Nia Jax just revealing that a female joining the Bloodline has been spoken about. And then the last thing we've got in the other folder is this. So Cody Rhodes has settled an American Nightmare lawsuit, right? So apparently there is a singer. His band is called The American Nightmare. And there was an agreement back in 2021 that Cody could sell merch that said American Nightmare, but the Cody Rhodes name had to be bigger. It had to say Cody Rhodes bigger, and then American Nightmare could be on there, but it had to be smaller. And unfortunately, there's been some WWE designs that have got like American Nightmare big, and I don't know if it's had Cody Rhodes on there at all. Cody, I don't know that he's really been thinking about it. I don't know that this is something that he massively cares about. But obviously, the guy who's got the band, he cares about it. So there was this whole lawsuit that has happened. Apparently, they've settled. I think the other guy was looking for nearly $1 million. Don't know that he received that, but WWE and that guy have settled. And be interesting to see what that means for the shirts going forwards. You know, is there a new agreement where they can now do American Nightmare and not have to worry about it? Or are we going to see American Nightmare always be smaller than the Cody Rhodes name like it should have been since 2021 when Cody struck that agreement with this singer? So this is the kind of bonkers stuff you don't really think about, you know? When we're looking at shirts and we're like, oh, why is American Nightmare so small? It should be bigger. Legally, it can't be, right? So that's the kind of stuff that we as fans just don't take into consideration. All these like little quirky things that are going on behind the scenes. So I thought that was really interesting. But apparently the lawsuit has been settled. But as I said, I'm not sure what that means moving forwards. Right, so let's go into the fun folder. So, Juan, thank you. I do like this Grapple Clips account. They're the ones that we looked at the other day where the person went through over the top, came crashing down on the outside. Brutal. Well, this is really interesting. I'm not sure the promotion, but this is a move that's never seen before. So you can see kind of going round like you would a vertebraker. The thing with the vertebraker is this person in red, exactly the same, but they would be a little bit more over like that. So when you go down, you're dropping them kind of on their neck, on their head, right? And their head would be about here. You can see is much higher here, is more horizontal than vertical, right? So this is a vertebraker backbreaker. So he's got the back on his shoulder. It's kind of hard because it's quite quick and it's hard to make everything out. So here, look, hooks the arm, spins round, drops down, and you can see his shoulder is driving into the back of this guy. Not a move I've ever seen. And here, even Grapple Clip said, hashtag lost move alert. It's a really good move, this. Someone could absolutely take this. Wan said, I hope you've seen this. I've never seen it before. It's a vertebraker backbreaker. So let me just play it in full now that people know what they're looking out for. Spinning round. Bang. It's nice, isn't it? It's nice. As we said, a vertebraker, he would be more over, of course. He'd be more over that way and being dropped down kind of on his head. Vertebraker, backbreaker. There we go. Someone could have that. Very good. So, Juan, thank you. Okay, just a fun little clip here of Blake Monroe, look, coming over, posing away. Thank you so much, Blake, says Nick. I mean, he can pause that and get some really great, look at that, really great shots. I mean, that's a great picture, isn't it? To be honest. Really good. That one's quite good as well. So, yeah, very cool. So, Johnny, thank you. And talking of Blake, we got another one, I think, from the same show. So, here, look, we've got a big crowd reaction for this. But her music's playing, so I got to mute it. It says, "Marry me, Blake." And as soon as she rips the sign, everyone's like, "Ah, no." I think that's Thea Hale in the ring. She even goes over to the guy like, "Oh, my God, what? Oh, my God." So there we go. "Marry me, Blake." She ripped it. Just some of the fun that is had on NXT live events. So it looks like Blake Monroe, Thea Hale went down at a recent live event. Oh, and this is kind of fun. This is, so Ansel, thank you. This is Lana and Sonya Deville prank calling Liv Morgan. So I'm going to try and skip forward a little bit because it goes 2 minutes. But let's just skip forwards.
This is called our hotline reverse, where your gimmick, you want to be a luchador.
What's that?
And you want your name to be Lily the Lana.
Lily. Gianna, please call me. This is an emergency. Seriously, I really need to tell you something. Okay, love you. Bye.
Edie, why are you acting so
She's
weird?
calling. She's calling.
Okay.
She's calling. She's calling. Hello?
Hey, you okay?
I have to tell you something because I just don't even know what to do about this. WWE called me. They want me to come back to WWE, but they want me to be a luchador. And they want me to have my name be called Lily the Lana.
Are you joking?
Are you joking?
No, I'm not. I'm disturbed.
Wait, they want you to come back and be a luchador named Lily Solana?
Lily the Lana.
Lily the Lana? What, the Lana? Lily the Lana?
Yes. FaceTimer?
Gotcha, bitch! Got you! I got you!
Oh my.
You said luchador, and I'm trying to put the pieces together. Like, why the fuck would they call CJ wanting her to be a fucking luchador?
DJ, I love you so much. You're such a good friend.
I just thought it was code. I thought she was giving me code for danger. Like, I'm gonna take my nap now.
There we go. She's off to take a nap. So Sonya Deville actually says earlier in this video, she's like, she might know that it's me because I actually prank called her earlier in the week. So Sonya Deville must be prank calling Liv Morgan all the time. So there they tried to convince her that Lana was coming back to WWE as a luchador and called Lily the Lana. And so they just had a little bit of fun with that. So there we go. Just a little glimpse into the kind of things that Liv Morgan has to put up with. So very good. Right. Not the longest of episodes, but obviously I'm sure there's going to be plenty that comes out of tonight's Smackdown at the time of recording this. There's a mystery opponent to take on Elia as he does another open challenge. Wondering if that's going to be Tommaso, of course. We seem to be building something there. And then LA Knight is going to be taking on a mystery opponent. I feel like Joe Hendry is probably the front runner for that. I have been told by a few people that I think Jeff Hardy and a few others are actually busy with TNA tonight. We know that Joe Hendry is now signed with WWE. So he is not busy with TNA. So I do think Joe Hendry stands a really good chance. A really good chance. I would say he is very much my front runner. So yes, are we going to see Joe Hendry LA Knight tonight on SmackDown? We absolutely could. I think there's a good chance of it. But we're going to have to wait and see at the time of recording this. We're still a few hours away from that show. So there we go. That was Unseen. Join me later because not only will we be doing the live watch along for SmackDown, but once that's done, we're going to be live for about 20 minutes, breaking the show down, sharing our thoughts, kind of talking about all the big talking points, talking about where things can be heading, really getting stuck into stuff. We try and get all of that into a little 20-minute kind of little live thing. And then it's up as a video if you don't get to catch it live. So boom, awesome. Thank you to All Game 17, Wrestling Void, Chanel, Wrestling's biggest fan, Sweet Chin Wrestling, Claire Webb, Silverback, Michael, Edward, Raymond, and Steve Munson. Thank you for the support, and I'll see you later for SmackDown.